So, fatherhoods, we got a special guest today, tonight, wherever you're listening, hailing from Baltimore. He's a super talented MC. Just checked out some of his stuff. If you like those 90s vibes and now vibes, it's a nice combination. Welcome to the show. And most importantly, he's a father, ill conscious.
Thank you, brothers. Appreciate y'all. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, man.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Why don't we just start right where we usually start with folks, right? Like, what is your fatherhood dynamic? How many kids?
Oh, man. All right. Let's talk about it. All right. Well, so I have 4 children. I'm only 33. So trying to balance, the artistry, because I travel a lot. I do a lot of touring. I do a lot of city to city. I like to go out of the country as well and do certain shows. Like I just recently came back from Chile, South America. We were scheduled to do Switzerland, Germany, and France, but then the pandemic hit. And so it's really, for me, man, I have a 13-year-old, I have an 11-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
Wow.
So
man, you got your hands full.
Yeah, man. So, I had a gap between the 11-year-old and the 4-year-old, and now apparently I'm back at it. So,
He said apparently. Nah, you apparently in the shit.
But yeah, bro, just being in my children's lives as much as possible. Whether that's on a daily, I have certain situations with like my older children's moms where, some things you got to deal with the legal systems and all of that shit. But for the most part, we're good over here though. We're good. Children we're maintaining. They're healthy, growing up, and they know who their father is, most importantly. And their father's in their lives, and it's a beautiful thing.
How many different I hate to use the term baby mama. I feel like that's so disrespectful. How many mothers are in the picture with the 4 kids?
All 4.
Oh, so there's 4. So 1 per mom.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So So my question is that in and of itself is complicated to have to be able to manage, right? You mentioned
that's a whole episode right now.
Bro, that's a reality show right there, dog.
Yo, it's crazy. But
how do you cut through it all and still maintain a viable relationship with each one of your children?
So the thing about it is I wish I could say that each parenting relationship was the same, that we were all cordial and everything, but it comes a time where as a man you go through a growth and maturation process, and it's really if you're dealing with I hate to even really go there, but like a bitter or scornful situation, then obviously, apparently the situation won't get to where you want it to be as far as cooperating or parenting effectively. Now, what I try to do is try to just be steadfast in the communication. So the communication aspect is important. I haven't seen my oldest son in a couple years now since the pandemic began, and that's due to a situation that I don't have any control over right now. But as far as my other children, I just try to be. They're all spaced out as well, so we're in different areas. I'm in the Baltimore metropolis area, so I have a child. My son, he lives in Pennsylvania. My other children, they live fairly close. But then my oldest, who I haven't seen, lives on like the eastern shore of Maryland, like towards Delaware and everything like that. So, the communication aspect of it, ensuring that they have a line of communication towards me, whether that's, me getting them phones or anything like that. I coordinate with my children's moms on when I'm going to get them, whether that's every other day, whether it's every other weekend, whatever the case may be. And let's say like shows or gigs arise, and, just letting them know ahead of time, making sure that communication is vital. That's the most important piece, the communication, right? Because that's really going to lead to the whole respect factor of it. You know what I mean? And just keeping them in the know. Like, now, I'm not saying we have to know each other's like whereabouts and who we're consistently dealing with on a regular basis, as far as like whatever the case may be, romantically, whatever the case. But I feel like in order for us to respect each other and come together as one solid unit, we just need to adhere to each other's needs and to children's needs, and you know what we need to do to make this village work, because it takes a village. You know, it's cliche, but it really takes a village. And for me, I'm not really I'm not for the drama. I'm not really for the unnecessary you know, BS, especially when you're dealing with an individual that has nothing but you know, principles and morals that have been instilled in me growing up. And I try to do that same for my children as well. And sometimes it gets difficult when you're not on the same page as the children's mothers. But it's up to them as well to meet you in that maturation process and that growth process, because we're not teenagers anymore. We're not, you know, our relationships have been long, you know, expired since then. And it's time to really make it about the children, you know. And I think that's really a lot of times in the Black community, you know, we mistaken a relationship ending for child's life or anything like that. So it's an interesting dynamic when it comes to having let's say two of your baby mothers that may not get it or understand it, then the other two are on board with you. And you know, whatever the case, you may not have worked, it may not have worked out on a relationship aspect, but at least we can be cordial enough to come together and take care of our child, take care of our seed, you know.
How do the kids get along? How about the kids? How do they all get along?
They love each other, man. They love my daughter loves their her brothers, you know, and the big brothers adore their little sister. My little one, my 1-year-old, he's all over the place. You know what I mean? He just wants to be like everybody and be in the space and be in the same space as me and in the same space as his big brothers, older siblings. And it's love, man. It's never love there. I have no issue with getting any of the children together. So like every other weekend, I might get them and I'll have them for a weekend. My situation with my daughter, I get her every other day. And, you know, we kind of work it out like that. So it's, you know, it's really in how much the baby mothers are willing to, you know, sacrifice. How much sacrifice we're all willing to make in this whole situation. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask like just how does your mom interact in this situation as well, knowing that there's different mothers involved and seeing the kids and things. I'm curious from a kind of from her perspective.
So growing up, I was mainly raised by my grandmother.
Okay.
So she's deceased right now, bless her soul. But she was definitely the person that kind of played that motherly role in my life. And my mother was around and everything, but she wasn't as I want to say as hands-on or as in my life as much as my grandmother was. Now, my grandmother, she transitioned when I was like 18. So, you know, at that time, there was like a void that was missing for me. And, you know, a lot of the times, me and my mother, we didn't really have the best relationship growing up, but we absolutely, you know, there's love there. There's definitely love. And now in my older years, she's definitely been able to gravitate towards my children in a manner that I want her to. And, you know, grandma's going to be grandmother. The children love her, you know, and she's embraced all of this tumultuous things that's going on with my life. But it's really not that tumultuous as it seems. It's really about just balance and just having control and being able to talk to people, being able to talk to your children's mothers. You can't talk to your children's mothers, then what can you do? But, you know, my mother's supportive. She's supportive in that aspect. And, you know, we're all in it together.
How do you maintain a level head? I know you said communication is a vital part of you being able to keep it. You got to speak it because nobody's seeing it right now.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I undergo some herbal indulgence every now and then. Might take a shot here and there on some happy hour tip. And, you know, and I got to get time for myself and I got to get time for my craft. So like this time, like the moment as soon as I get off of work, I have until now, until 4:30 before I get my little girl. And in between then, when I'm done with you guys, I'm going to Chief, and then I'm going to get my mind right, and then I'm going to get baby girl from school. You know, that's kind of how I deal with it. I listen to music, I write, I create, and I try to keep that busy mind because it keeps me level for some reason. Like for some reason, I gotta be in motion. Everything has to be kinetic. I have to be thinking all the time. I have to be writing, creating, and that kind of keeps me motivated to continue to, you know, just do what I need to do for them. You know.
Have you ever
Makes sense.
considered like meditating? Has that ever come up?
I think when he
Yeah.
smokes, he's meditating.
Yeah, I meditate all the time actually. Mostly with the use of herbs and everything like that. Sometimes on very rare occasions I might dive into the shroom thing, you know, here and there. But I have more children now, so a lot of things I try to restrict from doing. I'm in my 30s now. But yeah, meditation is something that I frequent a lot, you know. So yeah, definitely. I also like to head out into nature a lot. I'm a big nature buff. So you'll see me on nature trails. You'll catch me in some of my social media like videos where I'm just out in the field talking to the people for like 2-3 hours, like in the woods somewhere. So
you take your kids out there with you?
Absolutely.
It's pretty important for kids to have that nature connection.
Yep, they love it. They love it. And I try to do it at an early age. So they can just have that down pack, so they can feel those frequencies and understand those vibrations of being outside and being one with nature. You know, it changes your perspective on just life. You know, once you're just out there, you're breathing, you're living in the moment, and everything around you, social media, propaganda is no longer. You know, it doesn't exist. So definitely, man, absolutely.
Well, was there always this maturity that you're displaying now? Like when you had your first child, what was the maturity level there?
So when I had my first child, it was a whole bunch of drama and bullshit going on. Like, so, but I think a lot of that was attributed to the baby mother that I had. Because I've always been a pretty level-headed guy, even in high school and stuff like that. I was pretty much a quiet, introspective thinker. Like I always on this shit, you know. But over time, I had to learn how to control my temper and the way I react. Because a lot of times I can be real impulsive. And in my younger years, I was definitely extremely impulsive when it came to, you know, anything that didn't go my way when it came to like my children, or even just picking up my children, going to get them on the day I'm supposed to get them. Now I kind of look at it as, you know, if it's in my power, then if I can control it, then I will grasp it and I'll do everything that I can to make it happen. And if it's not in my control, I need to understand that, you know, the universe will bring it back around. And especially when it comes to your children, man. When it comes to your children, like people can try to keep you away from your children, but a real father is really going to go out there and he's going to do everything he needs to do to pursue, you know, his children, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I've always been, always heard that I was more mature for my age growing up. You know, I was ahead of my time, or I got an old soul, or things of that nature. So I guess you can say so. I mean, back in the day, it was a little bit more rowdy, but I've always had this demeanor.
Right, because I would say that the reason why I said that is because the stereotype would be that someone that had kids with multiple partners probably wouldn't have that maturity or wouldn't have their shit together. And it seems like the opposite in this situation, where it's like
that's why my situation is so interesting, and especially nowadays, like when I'm dating and stuff like that, they see that I have all the criteria to be a ain't shit motherfucker, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? But when they get to know me and they see the you know, the details of my life and what I speak about and everything that I you know, that I incorporate when it comes to being a good father and, you know, communication, then they realize that you know, this is a very unique situation. And they usually, you know, they're more susceptible to stick around and wanna and explore the endless possibilities with Sir Ill. You know what I mean? So it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, because we might have a listener right now that's like he's got multiple children with multiple women and probably he's overwhelmed and wants to give up. And here's how level-headed you sound and be like, hold up a second, man. I gotta get my shit together for my kids,
Got you, man. Especially as growing up in Baltimore and not really having that father figure that was around, that was so prevalent in so many of my homeboys and cousins and just different people like in Baltimore City. It's one of those broken, dysfunctional family cities, unfortunately. And a lot of people take that and they use it for for the negative, for the bad. And with me, it just kind of made it more of a positive impact because I didn't want to be how my father was in whatever the case may be. And a lot of the times that can be a misconception because, you might have fathers who was trying to be in their children's lives, but the mothers didn't allow it. And sometimes I'm starting to now, hear more stories of that, from people that I know that are my age and things of that matter. But really, like my friends call me the master juggler. Like I juggle a lot of like shit. Like I like my children, my music. I'm out of the country, then I'm back in the next day. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a lot of stuff. Even now, I just got off work and now I kept telling myself I need to make this interview, and now I'm here. So.
The master juggler.
If I
next album title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bring up a quick topic that I think everybody here can relate to, and I would love you guys' opinions on this. So I think K, I know for sure. E, your kid probably is doing this already, and I know Ill's kids, some way, shape, or form, are doing it. So kids going to school, they come back with all this shit from their classroom, all these little projects they do, artwork, all sorts of shit. We, in my house, we sneakily take most of it and dump it in the garbage. Like that's what they'll drop it off, leave it on the table. We grab the shit, boom, trash. Unless we know it's like really good work or something that means something to them, because they'll come in excited about some shit, right?
Or a hand that says dad on it or some shit,
right?
Man,
yeah, like the Thanksgiving hand and shit, all that.
Turkey hands.
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So my youngest, she's 5. She comes in to the house the other day and she puts stuff down, but she does it and then she runs away, like treating it like it's no big deal. She comes back hours later and she realizes the shit is gone. So casually she asked my wife, she's like, "Mommy, what do you do with the stuff I bring home from school?" My wife is like, and she's like, she was honest. She was like, some stuff I throw away, some stuff I put in because we have like a little bin, in the little bin. And my daughter's like, "Huh? Oh, okay. So you think what I bring home is garbage?" And she had this whole like diatribe with her. At the end of the day, my daughter was just fucking with her. She was like, "That's all right. It's all right. I get it. But to make sure when I tell you not to throw something, make sure you don't throw it out." Like that's what she ended with. So what's your guys' experience with something similar? Because I know your kids bring stuff home. Like, how do you guys treat it?
They bring shit home all the time. Most of the time, like you said, I keep a bin as well for all of their different shit. And as they get older, I progressively throw shit out that isn't like a milestone year, some shit. Like let's say like your kindergarten, like all right, I ain't gonna throw the kindergarten writings away, handwriting and shit. But like 2nd grade, 3rd grade, okay, they're not gonna remember that shit. Let's purge that. Right. Let's keep some of the middle school, let's keep a graduation, a high school freshman year, something like that. But yeah, progressively I start to purge out everything because you start to have so much shit. They bring so much shit home, man, and it becomes clutter.
It's clutter.
So
how about you, E?
Yeah, no. I've been throwing stuff away. Straight up. And what's funny with my daughter, what she's doing is whoever picks her up, that drawing was for that person. Like,
Right.
oh, I made this for you, daddy. But if my girl, oh, I made this for you. Hey, hold up, you lying to us. Who's this for? So,
Right.
if it's for me and she says it, I'm like, damn, I don't want to throw this away. But if she said it was for her mom, I'm like, nah, it's going in the garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, not meaning because it's for her, but I'm just saying, like, it takes away from how, like he said, like milestone things I'm looking out for, something that seems like exceptional, like, whoa, this is ill.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, when she was bringing stuff home, even stuff that you knew she didn't even really do, like the teacher was doing it, right? And then she just had to scribble her signature. I got a whole wall over all my documentary film posters covered with all of that stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It took over, my work area, like, and so now I'm like, all right, well, that's done. And so we're starting to throw things away.
And UK?
Yeah, about the same. I mean, there's definitely some purges that happen. Although, we did. I think it might have been a year ago. We actually had him help us purge one time where we pulled out a bunch of stuff because there was like papers all over the place with different artwork and things, and then we had to put it in the bin or the big envelope that we have. And so we pulled out a bunch of stuff and we're like, yo, let's all look at it together. And you tell us like what's good work and what's, not good and that you're not feeling great about. I think so it's like, there's like two different things. It's like the artwork and then there's the schoolwork stuff.
Yeah.
I think the head scratcher for like between like me and my wife is probably like how much of the old school work do we save? I'm probably more on the line to just get rid of it, just get rid of almost all of it, but we still have like, those big math books where they write the stuff and
fuck that. That's just gone. If you didn't remember how to do the math, bye.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think you definitely got to unless you want to be a hoarder and just keep everything, but that seems
you can't do that.
Yeah.
I got a whole case of shit now I'm thinking about. Y'all made me think about, man. I got dang.
Just take pictures and NFT all them shits.
Right.
Yeah.
Create their NFT collection.
Hey, shit. It might be worth something. Who knows?
Hey, so
somebody looking for some handwritings.
For your 13-year-old, how connected are you two in terms of music and is he a music head? Does he understand what you do, listen to what you do, anything like that?
So the 13-year-old is actually my oldest son that I think I mentioned earlier that I haven't seen in a couple years. Now, we used to be really close and everything until, some legal shit happened.
Oh, okay. Got it.
To be honest with you, I can't tell you exactly, the type of music he listens to, but he loves hip hop though. But at that age, they're into a whole bunch of different shit. They're on the TikTok crazy, Fortnite shit. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff, whatever music is on there, they kind of gravitate towards. You know what I mean? So, but he definitely certainly is familiar with his dad being one of the illest MCs coming out of Baltimore, and I think he's very proud of that.
Without digging a knife in it too much, I'm just curious how, because again, you definitely seem level-headed and you seem like you're able to kind of compartmentalize things and keep things moving.
Yeah.
How is that for you to deal with, call it like the temporary lack of a closer relationship with your son?
Yeah, it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. But this is something you would think that over time that your oldest, that situation would kind of pan its way out. And, especially since you guys aren't young anymore, you're talking about, speaking about me and the mother. But it hasn't gone. And then I realized that, this particular woman, she does have a mental illness. And whether she wants to embrace it or not, or admit to it, it's there. And it's something that can't be ignored, but it's also something that she's using to her advantage, to try to manipulate the system and that, nature. But it's one of them things where I can't really give up, mentally. A lot of people would have been like checked out by now. Oh, fuck it, I'll see it when he's 18 or whatever the case may be. But not even me. Like I've been in my child's life for this long, and then now all of a sudden someone, their mother wants to take them away from you. And she'll let me speak to him. I can speak to him on the phone. We could text all day long, but I had a situation where, and I speak about this on my new record, so it's not kind of too far. There's a situation where, condemns, and I wanted to take it upon myself and my power to take my son, and that created tension and false accusations of like kidnappings and shit like that. You know how that shit go. And then that happened. So it's been there. I've been fighting ever since then on some court legal shit, and I won, but it's still like,
yeah,
you're on the run. I still want to see my child, and every time we try to get closer, and I think we're getting closer to a means of agreement or compromise, I should say. So hopefully 2022 is a better year and a different year. I feel like I'm giving y'all a lot of my life. No one else has known this. So.
Well, if you're comfortable with it, we appreciate it, because this is real shit.
But this is appropriate though. You know what I mean? It's a fatherhood podcast, and what else did I think I was going to be talking about? You know what I mean? So
could we flip gears just a sec here? Because I know, you mentioned a lot about the type of world you're in when it comes to the hip hop craft. You're doing tours overseas. You said you just came back from Chile not that long ago. When I hear stuff like that, it's pretty impressive. Specifically, like you went to a Spanish speaking country to perform English speaking hip hop, right? Not that that's foreign, but but it's still an interesting thing, right? For a guy out of Baltimore to be able to experience. So I'm just curious, like how did you end up in that opportunity and those opportunities that you're a part of, and then what can people expect out of you in the coming weeks and months?
Okay. Well, around 2018, I ended up meeting a couple Chilean artists and DJs online, whether it's Instagram or whatever the case. And one of the artists' name was Papita's Freestyle. Now I ended up doing a track for him on one of his projects, and it ended up turning into a dope business relationship, and he returned the favor. And on my 2018 project, the prerequisite, I had a Chilean producer on this particular track. The name of the track was called Foreign Relations. It's such an ill track. DJ Dacel from Chile, DJ, who else is on the track? DJ Artist and Papita's Freestyle were all on this track in particular. And, it was a dope marriage that created an opportunity for me to go abroad. Now, Papita's Freestyle, he was doing shows down there in Santiago and all of that, and he extended the offer for me to come out. Him and a couple promoter friends of his, Sound Bastard, shout out to Sound Bastard. And we ended up just, I ended up taking a risk, man. I went by myself, and me and my daughter's mother, we went to Chile. I have a crew and everything, but at the time my crew couldn't come because they were opening up for the Locks in Baltimore. So during those same days, it was like, all right, well, hey man, this is what the crew shit is about. We cover all grounds on some Wu-Tang Griselda shit. You feel me? So that's what it is. But I ended up going down there. The hospitality was amazing. But like you said, they don't speak they can't talk to me like this. So a lot of the times I was down there doing a bunch of Google Translate. And then you might have people that pop out and just start talking to you because they know some English and shit. So you're like, oh, fuck, hell yeah. You know where the weed at? You know what I mean? So you start, shit like that. But it was a beautiful experience though, man. I got a chance to go down there. Shout out to Papita, shout out to Sound Bastard, DJ Dacel, and everybody else, man, that played a part and making that Chile move possible. So now I can go down there like anytime I want now, man. It's kind of like they extended that open, invitation to come back, and pandemic and all of that shit happened. So hopefully this year we will be going back there, as well as Tanzania, Morocco, and going to do some European countries as well. So hopefully this COVID shit, makes its way to the back.
Word.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Manny hasn't asked you the question he has everybody.
I'm holding back, son.
When's the next kid coming?
Nah, let me explain, because he puts me on Front Street all the time. So here's the deal, right? I avoided asking that question only because I feel like there's a lot of complexity already in your life with 4 women.
Do you think I want another one
kids.
right now?
So my guess is, usually I do it at a joke, right? But that shit to me.
You usually do it when there's someone who's got about 2 kids, and you're like, all right, when's the next?
But it almost feels like he would habitually probably go for the next one.
Yeah. That's true.
All right.
That's true.
So there's something I did leave out. All right. So I hate to bring this to like a sad moment, but it's not really sad.
Oh damn.
So I had a firstborn, right? In 06, my firstborn. He would have been 15 this year. He passed in 08, so he passed when he was 2 and everything.
Wow.
Damn, man.
So technically I have 5 children, so I don't know about having any more at this point right now. So I'm not opposed to it, but you gotta find the right situation, the right woman, and have mutual intentions.
Manny's hearing that you're gonna have more kids. He hears it already.
Yeah,
he hears it in your voice.
I feel like in life I'll probably end up having 10.
There you go.
Man, he's like, yeah.
No, man, no.
You going to Africa, baby? In Africa.
Look, I'm trying to be responsible with my shit though, man. So it's not. I'm not trying to just give out the good chi to everybody. So.
Hey, if you could be a good father to 10, why not?
Hey, yeah, and that's absolutely what that would be like my life mission right there. If that was the case. But yeah, I'm working, I'm doing my music shit, and I like to incorporate, especially I've just put out a project called Acres of Diamonds, a new album that will actually be available on platforms tomorrow. Friday. And there's a song on there called I'm Good, featuring King Magnetic and Dink. And the song really is everything that I kind of explained to you within the past 2 years with dealing with my son's mother, and how that turned out to be and all of that. So yeah, man, I take these experiences and I use them as fuel to for the craft. And it's one of those things where, man, like I can't lie on my rhymes, man. I can't fake it. I just can't do it. So there's so much real life going on, and so much things happening around us that to create a facade of yourself is comical. You know what I mean? It's too much shit going on. Like, so another child right now, can't see it in my near future.
Hey, before we get out of here and kind of ending on a serious note, if you could, and I'm sure there's some listeners out there who have experienced this or maybe trying to figure out, but if you could give any advice to, the passing of your first, how to cope with that and keep things moving. Be curious to hear that advice.
Man, it's literally one of those things, man, where you gotta take every day, like every step, like of the way. Like you have to really, and then, but to go back though, like that's it. After him being deceased, so I would say, man, just kind of stay true to who you are. Understand that life is definitely not promised to any of us, man, woman, or child, and kind of just show that love, show that unconditional love often and abundantly and excessively to your children, because you never know when shit like that is going to happen. and just be aware, be cognitive, be aware of your surroundings, and give your children the best of you while you're here and while they're still here. Man, it's a lot, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot. Like, cause it, like, even still to this day, birthday might come around, anniversary of the transition might come around, and you're still kind of back in that mode, back in that slump.
Of course,
but
man.
but you have to realize and understand that the universe or God or whatever subscribe to gave you another chance, gave you more children to invest that time and that love in as well. And even though he might not be here, I see him inside of them. And so that unconditional love that I had for my firstborn, it gets distributed amongst all of them. So I would just say, man, just love your children, man. Like, love your children. Make sure they know that. Let them feel that. Let the world see that you love your children. Let the mothers understand that, you're gonna fight for them if they're giving you any strife or anything. And just stay committed. Stay committed. We commit ourselves to so many other things like drugs, alcohol, and sex and all of this shit. But then when the sex happens and it leads to a situation like this, a lot of brothers don't want to be committed to the situation. And I get it. I understand. I've been in situations that was unwanted as well, but you got to overcome that, understand that you are the master and controller of your universe, and that it's all about discipline and just self-care and loving your children the right way, and that's basically it, bro.
Straight up, man. Yo, everyone go check out this man's music.
Yo, appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
Say one more time the new project.
The new project is called Acres of Diamonds by Ill Conscious and Mute One. Mute One is the producer from Camden, New Jersey. Right now, the project is available on my Bandcamp, but it will be available on all DSPs February 11th, Friday, February 11th. It's actually supposed to, this is off the record, supposed to open up for Wu-Tang on Friday. But apparently that show has been postponed.
Oh, damn.
And this is the second postponement. The first show got postponed due to the passing of Raekwon's mother. And then this particular show, I'm hearing that one of the members have contracted COVID. So I don't know if they put that out there yet, but that's what the promoter is telling me. So
we'll cut that out of here just in case. We don't want you getting any.
Yeah. Appreciate it, bro.
All good,
bro. Yo, you be safe out there, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no feel free to check in anytime, man.
No doubt. Appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for having me.
All right,
peace.
Later.